Let me ask you a question. Who do you think is responsible for teaching kids to read? Do you think it should be parents at home, or do you think it should be teachers in the classroom? Now, this can be a hotly debated topic on social media, and if you've been on social media lately, maybe you have seen some of these posts. But there is a big discussion happening right now about teaching reading. Who is responsible for teaching our kids to read? Now, there are some parents who believe it is their job to help support, teach their child to read at home. And then there are other parents who feel like my job is to send my child to school and the teacher is going to teach my child to read at school. Now, there are some teachers who believe that parents should be supportive and help teach kids at home. And there are some teachers who believe it is my job to teach kids to read. I don't need any support from the parents. They just need to make sure their child is taken care of, and I will do all of the teaching of literacy. So everybody has an opinion on this, and I would love to know yours. So please share it with me. If you have an opinion on this, please let me know what it is. But in today's video, I'm going to share with you what my opinion is, who is responsible for teaching reading. I'm going to share with you why that's my opinion, and also let you in on a little secret that you might not know, especially if you're not a teacher or if you don't have a background in education. In case you're new here, my name is Erin. I'm from littleslovelearning.com. I'm a former classroom teacher turned parent reading coach. So my job is to help parents teach their kids to read at home. I want to make sure parents are empowered and have all of the tools they need to teach their child correctly and effectively based on the science of reading. So I would love to share my opinion with you on who I think is responsible for teaching reading. Maybe you got a hint from that intro. And I also am going to tell you why I think that and let you in on that little secret I mentioned earlier. So let's dive in. So here's what I think. In order for a child to learn to read correctly and effectively, they need support from both their parents and their teachers. If your child is homeschooled, then you are the parent and the teacher. But if your child goes to a traditional school, then they are going to need support from both you and from the teacher. But I think it is so crucial for parents to be involved in literacy education that I created an entire business around it. And here's why. I have seen what happens when parents are involved with their child's reading journey and when parents are not involved. And the difference is huge. I cannot say it enough. When we have kids who have parents involved, who are helping to practice these reading skills at home, who are taking an active role in their child's reading journey, they are successful. And if there's a problem, that parent is getting intervention and help because they have their hands on the steering wheel. They are in the driver's seat of their child's reading education, and they are not leaving it to chance. On the flip side, I have seen kids who come to school and all of the learning happens at school. So whatever the teacher teaches them, whatever practice they get in school, that's all the practice they get. They don't get any more at home. And that is really hard for those kids. That's a hard place to be in because the teaching of reading involves so many different pieces. It's not one easy skill to learn. There's so many skills involved. We need to have phonological and phonemic awareness. We need to make sure that we can blend those sounds into words, that we can match the sounds to printed letters. We need to make sure we understand phonics rules and also the rule breakers when words are not following our traditional phonics rules. We need to know why they're not following those rules, what they're doing instead, and how we pronounce and spell those words. Not to mention, we need to work on handwriting. We need to work on writing words and sentences. We get our ideas out and put them on paper. There are so many pieces of literacy. And to think that a child is going to learn all of that in school can be a little bit naive on the part of the parents. Some parents don't know better. They think, of course, the child is going to learn how to read in school, and it's not my job. Maybe I'm trained in a different field. I'm not a teacher. I don't have an education background. And so I trust these professionals, which absolutely teachers are professionals and know how to teach reading. But what I would like to remind you, and of course, I said this is my entire business model, is that your child is your child. Your child's going to go to school and have a teacher for 1 year, maybe 2 if they're looping and that teacher moves on with them. But you are with your child forever. So whatever that teacher does or doesn't do in the classroom is going to affect your child forever, but it's not going to affect that teacher forever because they get a whole new group of students the next year. It is your job to have your hands on that steering wheel and to be in the driver's seat of your child's reading education. I am not saying you have to homeschool your child, and I am not saying that you have to teach them all by yourself, but you absolutely, as best you can, need to support your child on this reading journey. It's going to look different for every family and every situation, but what you can do, the most you can do, is support your child at home, and that is going to be crucial. I believe in supporting teachers. As a former teacher myself, I have lots of friends who are teachers. Teachers need support. And when we can work with our kids at home, we are supporting the teacher in the classroom. We're not saying that we don't trust them. We're not saying that they're not doing a good job. That's not what this is about. This is about supporting the teacher, and this is about helping the teacher by helping your child at home. Maybe you've just never thought about it. You just never thought, oh, I needed to work with my child at home. I just assumed the school was going to teach them. But what I'd like you to remember as well is that reading is not a school subject. Even though maybe it is on your child's report card, and even though we think of it as being something in school, reading is a life skill. And you as the parent are responsible for teaching your children life skills, just like you teach them how to eat, what foods to choose, how to brush their teeth, how to be safe in a car and wearing a seatbelt and sitting in a car seat at certain ages. You're teaching them those life skills, and reading is a life skill. It's not a school skill. No matter if your child ends up becoming a voracious reader who wants to read fiction books all the time, or maybe not fiction books all the time, it doesn't matter if your child loves to read or doesn't love to read. Reading is a life skill. They're going to need to be able to read a job application or an application for a mortgage or a lease if they're leasing an apartment or a house. They need to be able to read and comprehend in order to live, in order to survive. And there are way too many functioning illiterate adults in this country and kids who are moving in that direction because they are not getting the support that they need on their reading journey when they're young. It starts when they're young. We have to support them now so that when they are older, they are going to have those skills. So the reason I'm so passionate about this is because reading is a life skill. It is not a school skill. I think the majority of teachers would agree that parent support is important. And we want to make sure that parents are supporting kids in an effective way. And that's why I'm here, because I want you as the parent to feel empowered and have the tools to support your child in the correct way. Now, here's the secret that I wanted to share with you. The majority of teachers who have kids who are learning how to read, they're teaching their kids at home. They're not trusting the school and saying, okay, here's my child, you teach my child to read, and I'm not going to do any support or any help at home. So if teachers, these are the professionals, they are the ones that are teaching reading in their classroom to a group of students, why are they then teaching their kids to read at home? Why aren't they just trusting that their child is going to learn how to read in the classroom? I don't know one teacher personally that hasn't worked with their child at home on reading. Every single teacher I know works with their kids at home because we as teachers know what happens in the classroom. We know how chaotic it can get when there are 25 plus kindergartners in a room. We know all the different levels of kids in that room. Some kids who are academically advanced, who learn very quickly and who are ready to be pushed and challenged. Some kids who come in struggling, and maybe it is March or April of kindergarten and they still do not have all of their letters and sounds down and they are still struggling to blend words together. We as teachers, we see it all. And we know that it is impossible to give an individualized education to every child in our classroom. We do our absolute best. We differentiate. We have small groups. We meet a child where they are and we progress them along that continuum. That's our job. And as professionals, that's what we do. But as parents, we know that's a very hard job. And we are not going to send our kids to school going into a classroom knowing that that teacher, whoever they have, has all of those different levels and all of those different challenges teaching reading. So we as teachers with our own kids at home, we teach our kids at home because we know that's going to support their teacher when they go to school. We know that we want our kids to feel confident in their reading skills. We want them to be proud. And we know that if we're teaching our child to read at home and something's not clicking, something's not right, we're going to be able to see it way faster and way sooner and get our child the intervention that they need. Because again, as professionals, We know that intervention is key. The earlier the intervention, the better. So when we're working with our kids at home and we see something's not right, we can reach out to the teacher, reach out to the school, and we can start the process of getting them evaluated and seeing what support there is for our child, because we're not going to wait. We know that the wait and see approach does not work. So we're proactive with working with our kids at home. So that's what I wanted to share with you. If you're a parent watching this and you don't have a background in education or teaching, and you just assumed that your child is going to learn everything they need to learn in school, I just want to shine a light that your child will do so much better. They will do a much better job if they have that support at home. So please don't feel like you're overstepping your bounds by working with your child at home. If you feel like you're going into the realm of the teachers, remember that reading is not a school skill, it's a life skill. Teachers do not have a monopoly over teaching reading. We need parents to be involved. We need parents to understand how to effectively work with their kids at home. And that is why I'm here. That's the message that I want to share with you. If you are listening to this and you're thinking, yes, I absolutely want to teach my child to read at home. I want to support the teacher. I want to make sure that no matter what teacher or classroom my child walks into, they're going to have those literacy skills, because those are life skills, not a school skill. Then I have something just for you. I have a freebie called 5 Steps to Reading Success, and it is going to give you the basic overview of how you are going to work with your child to teach them how to read. It's going to tell you where to start, because maybe you're thinking, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to support my child at home. That's what I'm here for. So I want you to click on the link below. I want you to grab that freebie, read through it, and start thinking about how you can be supporting and working with your child at home based on those 5 steps. It's going to give you the step-by-step of really how reading works. It's super simple once we break it down to its basics, and then you will be able to support your child. Because again, teachers know how crazy and chaotic classrooms can get. And we work with our kids at home. These are the same steps that I follow to teach my 2 kids to read at home, and I want you to follow them as well. I hope this information was helpful. I love teachers. I love supporting teachers, so I don't want this to come across as a video where I don't trust teachers to teach reading. They are doing a phenomenal job. Their jobs are so complex and so overwhelming, and it is amazing how many wonderful teachers we have in the classroom. So let's do what we can to support those teachers by working with our kids at home and making sure that we are giving them the absolute best foundation, so that when they go into school and they go into class and they're learning these skills, they have this foundation already. They can build upon it in school, and then we can support it at home, because we want to make sure that it is a support between home and school. And again, your child is your child forever. So no matter what teacher they have or what school they're in, you are going to be with them forever. So let's make sure that you know how to teach reading and that you can keep them on the path to success no matter what. If you have any questions about this or anything else I share here on my channel, please comment down below. You can also find me on my website, littleslovelearning.com, or reach out on social media. I am active on Instagram and Facebook at Littles Love Learning Blog. I would love to hear your opinion. You can also leave a comment down below and let me know if you agree with this video, or if you disagree. That is totally fine. I know that my opinion is not the only opinion. I am not right all the time. I want to make sure that I'm listening to your opinion and hearing your words. And if you would like to share them with me, I am all ears. Until next time, happy learning. Bye.